How's it going, podcast family? I know a lot of you have probably been wondering where I've been, why haven't I posted podcasts in a while. Unfortunately, today I don't have a cool guest here with me to talk about a particular topic. However, I'm going to talk about where I've been and why I haven't posted in so long. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you've probably seen that I'm putting together and opening up an academy here in Stafford, Virginia. So a lot of my time and extra hours has been dedicated to doing that. So today I'll kind of talk about why I decided to open an academy, Jiu Jitsu academy here in Stafford, and then kind of recap the steps along the way. If you'd like to see a tour of the academy, you got a couple options. Show up July 8th, next Saturday when we open, or at the end of this podcast, I'm going to attach a video where I do a quick walkthrough, not a professional, tour of a video tour, but grabbed my phone and went over a tour of our 1,900 square feet we have here, including the mat space. If you do watch that video, go to follow us on YouTube if you do want to watch that video. Once you do follow and watch the video, put July 8th in the comments, just so I know that one, you listened to this podcast, and then two, you actually went through and watched the video to see the tour of the academy. So what have I been up to? Most of you guys know that I've been coaching the no-gi class over at Koa Martial Arts for the last year after moving back to Stafford, Virginia. No, nothing happened between Professor Kelly and I. No, nothing happened at Koa. That was like the first question I got asked once everybody saw I was opening an academy. In fact, it's completely opposite. Professor Kelly being a longtime mentor of mine, both from a professional standpoint in the military and a personal standpoint in my jiu-jitsu journey, he actually encouraged me to pursue opening up my own academy. I think most of you know that my plans were to open an academy closer to retirement from my military career, but as I've been kind of searching around locations and just looking around, talking to different mentors, decided to open up this summer, being July 8th, 2023. A couple mentors to include, Professor Kelly and Fredson. You guys know how crazy Fredson is. He's like, why wait, man? Specifically, Fredson was like, brother, why wait? There's never a perfect opportunity. He's like, you open now, you open closer to retirement. Either way, you're gonna open a school. At least now you get a chance to do it while there's really no pressure on you to have a successful school. So I started looking around, started searching around the Stafford area. I know just from a professional business standpoint, I didn't want to be too closely located to Koa, right? I wanted to have some distance in between myself and the Koa family, Coach Kelly, just from like a business standpoint, right? Traditionally, businesses, if you're looking to do like the same type of business, you want to give yourself like a 5 to 10 mile separation between a competitor. That way you're not drawing from the same population. So that's what we did. We're exactly like 5.1, 5.2 miles, the location separated from Koa. Koa being over on Garrisonville Road. Our location is 11 Hope Road, Suite 207. If you're familiar with the Stafford area, we're like right across the street and up the road a little bit from the Stafford County Courthouse, or the Stafford County admin buildings that are located at the corner of Courthouse and Richmond Highway. So we're pretty close to the courthouse. So over the last couple weeks, really month, just kind of sitting back, contemplating, should I do it? Should I wait? And then kind of researching all the administrative requirements, the business requirements for the state, for the county, and federally, to make sure I was covered before I decided to open an academy. Surprisingly, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I was just kind of waiting for one huge roadblock to kind of give me an excuse really not to open an academy. But as I kind of, worked my way through, I realized that, having the brand for about 5 years now, the Process Over Prize brand, has given me an opportunity to run, a successful business, and really had already given me the tools and the tools and mindset and just experience to be able to branch off and open a Jiu-Jitsu academy. So I've if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you see The academy is going to be called Process Over Prize Academy. Super easy, right? I already have a patent on the Process Over Prize brand, so it was easy to branch off and just add the academy under the same banner for the brand and LLC. So after doing that, just kind of working my way through federal requirements, the state requirements for Virginia, the county requirements for Stafford. I realized that it's a fairly relatively easy process as long as you're willing to put in the work. And Stafford County specifically has a office that's dedicated to helping out new business owners, which I found was phenomenal. It's the Stafford County Community Development and Tourism Office. They've helped me every step of the way, put me in contact with some professors down at the University of Mary Washington who teach business, who are master's, MBA professors. So they kind of help you go over like the legal requirements specific to the state and the county, think about marketing aspect, thinking about how you're going to do your finances, all of the stuff that I kind of had tools for running a brand, but it was good to have a state county focus, being that I wanted to do business in Stafford County. So from the time I went into the Stafford County office to apply for a recognized business here in Stafford, that office has been helping me every step of the way. So if you came down to COA this past week, I taught my last 2 no-gi classes there at COA. It was bittersweet. Those of you who know me, have trained with me at COA or just trained with me, I always talked about COA. This being my second time training there, a huge connection to Professor Kelly, huge connection to the different people who passed through there, being located here in Stafford, close to one of the large Marine Corps installations. You see a lot of the same people you've served with in the military, trained with in Jiu Jitsu, been stationed with literally for me on the other side of the country, or in some cases overseas or deployed with overseas. So that always, COA will always have a special place in my heart for helping me when I was here the first time as a seasoned purple belt, training and competing, and then coming back this time, as a fairly new black belt, being able to teach over there, refine my game, as well as kind of polish me up to be a successful, business owner on my own and instructor. So if you're around July 8th, next Saturday, definitely stop by. We're going to do our soft opening. More than welcome to come in. It's not going to be any classes, just going to be open mat. Happy to host anybody. Professor Fredson is coming out from Vegas. My grand plan was to do like a soft opening on July 8th, kind of build up some students, build up membership base, and then bring him out later on in September, which around the Labor Day, which I thought would give me enough time to kind of build up the academy. He was like, absolutely not. You're opening on July 8th. I'm going to be there on July 8th, brother. And if you know Fredson, there's really no telling him no once he gets his mind set on something. But being a mentor and a close friend that he is, happy to have him out. Also happy to have him help me out along the way in doing this. His only response when I told him I finally decided to open the academy was, it's about time. Why have you been waiting this long? So shout out to him. Shout out to Tulsa and Bianca down in Sneech Ferry too. Being another Professor Presshow affiliate, I trained with them when I was stationed in North Carolina for a couple years. They're doing phenomenal down there. They've actually opened a second school, which was kind of my inspiration. Tulsa retired from the Marine Corps a few years ago. Once he retired, I trained with him when he was still on active duty, still teaching classes, in the evening every day of the week and running open mat. So, he was kind of my inspirational and kind of doing the same thing. And then I saw once he retired how he was able to dedicate 100% of his time to building his academy up, and now opening a second one that's doing phenomenal as well too. So I think as long as you're just willing to do the work, I know it's not going to be easy being a small business owner, being an academy owner, teaching the classes myself. I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. Happy to kind of start my own thing, kind of build my own student base, just kind of watch people share the art of Jiu Jitsu, just like I have over the years. So I know I've had some questions about the schedule. The schedule is going to be Monday through Thursday. Plan to have two classes in the evening, Monday through Thursday. Kids class will be at 6 o'clock, and then the adult class will be at 7 o'clock. The range for the kids, we're looking at 7 years old or going into the first grade all the way up until 15. And then, kind of following the IBJJF model, once you turn 16, you have the option to moving up to the adult class. Not automatic, if a kid still wants to, maybe mature a little bit and train in the kids class, more than happy to accommodate. So that's the kids class, Monday through Thursday at 6. And then adult class will be immediately following from 7 to 8. Adults is whatever from technically 16 all the way up to 100 if you still want to, step foot on the mat. Also in the schedule, we're going to do gi and no gi. So Monday and Wednesday will be gi classes. Tuesday and Thursday will be no gi classes. That is both for the kids and the adults. I think now with the growing of the no gi following, you can kind of look at those as kind of two separate ways of approaching jiu-jitsu. Still encompassed under, overall jiu-jitsu, but if you train in gi and no gi, your approach to your game is probably a little different, especially with no gi being a little faster paced, not having the grips to kind of slow the pace down a little bit. No gi can absolutely be faster paced. Then on Saturday, like most academies, we're going to have open mat. So our open mat will be from 10 to 12 in the morning. Come in Saturday, get a couple rounds, kick off your weekend right, and go spend the rest of the weekend, hanging out with the fam or whatever you do on the weekend. So that's why I've been away for so long. That's why I haven't had, the all-star cast of podcast guests lined up to talk. I will get back to that. As you can see it inside the academy, got the original Process Over Prize logo, the La Rutina logo over my head right here, just kind of representing the roots of the brand and the roots of my inspiration to get to this point of opening an academy. But absolutely stop by, looking to bring more podcast guests on, kind of set up right here as our stage or our podcast point to interview people. Just come share the mats. I'm super excited. I'd be lying if I wasn't say, I'm nervous about kind of branching out on my own, opening my academy, but looking forward to the challenge, looking forward to have an awesome member and student base, and looking forward to bringing some more podcasts back to you. Thanks again to all the followers, and don't forget, once you finish up this podcast, go to YouTube, follow us, and at the end of this podcast, the video, you'll be able to see a tour of the academy. I always post this up on Spotify, but I also try to put the video on YouTube for people who still, want to see the YouTube or see the interaction of the podcast. Again, thanks again. Look forward to talking to you soon, bringing you another podcast or sharing the match.